The following program is for adult audiences only.
Time to open up some whoop ass.
We bring the heart to the heartland, where the souls collide, dreams expand, the stars are set. We're bumping chops and running roads in the world of pro wrestling, where the weak will show. From the top row to the depths below, the warriors in the ring, we've nowhere to go. Blood, sweat, and tears, it's a battle of the wills. We bring the heart to the heartland. Heart to the heartland. Turn the volume up, they can hear from hell. Everyone's ready, so let's ring the bell. Ding, 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 let's start the clock. HVW, yeah, we're bumping chops.
Welcome back to HCW's Bumping Chops, where the chops hurt and the words mean nothing. I'm your host, Billy Simmons, co-owner of Heartland Championship Wrestling, and this is my good friend, Bobby Casey.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Bumping Chops, episode 16 of Bumping Chops to be exact. Bumping Chops is brought to you by the Chubby Buddy Studio on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on all those socials. And also you can follow HCW's podcast page on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the others except for Apple.
We'll figure that out at some point.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, probably not. Anyways, to get the latest information about HCW, follow us at HCW Live 23 on all social platforms. Again, that is HCW Live 23.
This week, we've got, we're coming into the, I guess, almost a big hump of HCW.
Okay.
Since it's your second year, we've got the Road to Legacy coming up, which is your guys' WrestleMania of independent wrestling in Kansas.
Right.
Probably one of the biggest in, I would say, more than Kansas and Missouri, probably. Pretty close, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's some big shows in some places. WLW does some huge events and stuff like that. But this is a big one for us. Legacy is right around my birthday every year. I did that strategically. It's something we put a lot of effort into and something that I greatly, greatly enjoy putting on. So I'm excited for it. We're building a huge card for it and got someone that might be involved in that Legacy show. Why don't you introduce our partner here?
Well, I mean,
and make it good.
See, this is what's awesome about this because we know nothing about this man. So, I mean, we know enough to for me to be able to say his name at a wrestling show, right? But that's almost about it. But this man is not only the mouth of Texas, he is a 5-star, all-star, sugar, Caine Carter.
Weeks to the sweet, fellas. That was nice. That was nice. How we doing?
What's up, big dog? How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. Just hanging out. I'm glad to finally be on the pod. I've been seeing y'all doing y'all's things with some guests that I enjoy. I appreciate the words that have been said about me on the podcast, and I can't believe this is only number 16.
Yeah, 16. When Bobby first brought this to me, I think the first time he brought it to me, I was like, I ain't got time for that shit. And eventually we kind of locked it down and worked something out that we could make it work. And he makes it easy for me to show up, do my thing, and get the heck out of here. So all the credit goes to him for sure.
Man,
No credit needed. I just find out who's going to be on here, and then I set it up.
You sound a lot like The Undertaker and how he does his podcast. Do you listen to Undertaker's podcast?
I do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, behind the scenes, he says that he likes to show up, record for about an hour, and then dip.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I do it.
I just found out he hates cucumbers too.
Oh, Undertaker? Oh, yeah.
He hates
Yeah,
people
is.
making comments about it like he's scared of cucumbers. I'm not scared of cucumbers. I just don't like them.
He's scared of cucumbers.
Damn.
I ain't going to say it. You did.
Is there any food that you're scared of, Caine?
Corn the long way.
Touche.
That's about it, fellas.
Well, first we kind of need to apologize. We said that Caine lost to Ray his first ever HCW show, and that is not true. He beat Calvin Aldridge in his first show. And
That is true.
Yeah,
He
we
beat Calvin.
misspoke, so we correct our wrongs. All right.
That was a VIP match, correct, Caine?
Yeah. It was my first show in Kansas, my debut for HCW, and y'all threw me to the wolves on a VIP show, and I'd like to say that I exceeded expectations and I earned my spot on the roster, and I really appreciate the opportunity that y'all gave me that day. And Calvin was fun. You know what I mean? I can't wait to do it again, but definitely my segue into HCW and into Kansas wrestling.
Yeah, man, you came down. You were fantastic in the locker room. That's one of the things that people don't understand. If you're not going to mesh in my locker room, man, it's hard for me to want to bring you back because a lot of those people I've trained, and but you mesh well in our locker room. You work your ass off for us, and we lined up a deal, and you ain't went anywhere yet, so we'll keep on running down that track.
It's entertaining to watch for sure. But since you said that you listen to the podcast, so you kind of know what's going on here, I'm going to hit us with a little bit of wrestling history, and then we're going to get right into finding out all about you, man. You sound good?
Got it. Sounds good.
All right. So today in wrestling history, which is February 17th, 1997, Psycho Sid won his second WWF World title by defeating Bret Hart with outside interference from Stone Cold Steve Austin on WWF Raw. The outcome of this match set up the eventful WWF title match between Sid and The Undertaker and Austin against Hart, which would have the submission stipulation added a few weeks later.
Which is an iconic match between Hart and Stone Cold.
Is this like right before that whole thing up in Canada that went down?
No, this was when Hart put him in the sharpshooter. Stone Cold was bleeding profusely, refused to tap out, and ended up passing out. And a lot say that really kind of catapulted his career.
28 years ago. That's wild.
They say that was one of the very first or few successfully done switches on both parts. It turned Bret Hart heel and it turned Stone Cold babyface. And they say that that's one of the hardest things to do and to deliver. But who do you expect
at the same
to do
time,
it?
you mean?
Correct.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So since Stone Cold didn't tap out, it showed his heart, fighting spirit, whatever you want to call it, and it made him babyface, and it gained a whole bunch of sympathy. Bret Hart was in America at the time, and he just locked on that sharpshooter and wouldn't let go. So it turned Bret heel and turned Stone Cold babyface in one move.
Well, hey, I picked that right there out because it had the word Stone Cold and Bret Hart in it. It had nothing to do with anything else. I was like, oh, this has got to be interesting.
You picked a very, very good one because that led into like one of the, like everybody, most wrestling fans know that match, that scenario, that stuff. So
Right, I knew it from watching like highlights and stuff. I never actually got to watch the whole match, so.
You go back and watch it. You won't be disappointed.
Well, hey, man, why don't we get into finding out about Caine?
Sounds good to me.
This is, and this is just from my point of view. I think me learning about wrestlers, there has not been to this day the same wrestlers like come up throughout any episode that we've had. So everybody's had a different story, and I think yours is going to be even that much more magical just because of the type of person that I know you to be, and the fans of HCW, and also the ones that don't necessarily like you very much. But hey. But why don't you kind of give us a rundown about what makes you tick every day?
Oh, what makes me tick? Honestly, professional wrestling, this is very cliche to say, it saved my life. I guess people make their own narratives about people and have their own assumptions. But whenever I get to talking about my past, it usually strikes people as like, what the heck? I never would have expected that kind of past from you. But what makes me tick is knowing my past and just being able to wake up and put one step forward into not going back to what I used to put myself through, and it's not like I was born into a bad situation or I grew up troubled or anything. I was troubled because of my own decisions, and I'm blessed enough to realize that. So what makes me tick is not wanting to go back to that same lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also speaking of your past, like I saw you had a post. Happy birthday, Mama Caine. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I really appreciate that. That's my number one right there.
Moms are very very close to all of us.
Yeah, for sure, man.
No
I
matter
feel
what
like
you
that's
say,
the-
they're going to be close.
I feel like that's the wrestling thing. We're all mama's boys in some kind of capacity.
I ain't even a wrestler thing. I'm just a mama's boy.
Man, you might be 100% right there. You might be 100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm telling
Remington
you,
talks about his mom like that too, man.
we're all mama's boys.
You know, got to have that support system. A lot of times, dads just want to make you hard, and mamas want to make sure you're loved and cared for, and try to succeed to every goal that you put yourself to. So that's awesome.
I wonder if that holds true. Like the men are the mama's boys, and the girls the daddy's girls. Like,
Oh, that yeah.
I mean,
I don't have boys,
hand in
but I
hand.
tell you what, my daughters mean the world to me. So
you got a lot of like outside of the family sons. So,
yeah, that's facts.
but no, man. I kind of want to preface this by saying, like, it's been awesome calling your name. Like, we have very good conversations in the back right before you go out. You kind of say, hey, can you kind of do this for me? And then I'm like, I'll wing it. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can piss the crowd off. So, kind of give us what you love most about that coming to HCW or Kansas. Like, what gets you to go? I want to go piss these guys off.
Knowing that they're not gonna sit quiet in my match whenever they watch me.
They ain't.
No reaction is the worst reaction, and I'm actually a heel everywhere I go except for one particular company, and that's my home promotion. It's about 45 minutes from my hometown. My friends and family come there, but all across the state of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, I work heel, and it's the same thing everywhere. Whenever I first broke into the business, I was told that it's easy to be hated, and you should try to get over as a babyface first, just to learn how to get over, and then you take that aspect and you put it towards being a heel and how to get over a heel, because it's easy to make people hate you, especially with cheap heat. But if you can go out there and really make these people feel like they don't want to see you, or in Kansas's case, it's us versus this guy. You know what I mean? I really ride on that. It's just, I don't want the crowd to be silent during my match, because I always want to be the guy that people in the locker room will be like, damn, I got to go follow that.
So that's where my comparison of stand-up comedy is the same way. Like crowd work and all that stuff is, strippers are still on that list. Let's not be wrong. Aaron Helms is onto something there too. So
you talked about wanting being that guy that you want people to be like, man, I got to follow this match now. Coming up in February 22nd, you step in the ring with the big man, Sam Stackhouse. And a lot of people know who Sam is. He's been all over the place. GCW champion at one point. I know, just talking with you a little bit, you had said that you'd been wanting to get an opportunity to get in the ring with him. Now's your opportunity, man. So tell me about that a little bit.
Oh, man. First time I met Sam, I was actually homeless, living out of my truck, sleeping on the futon at America's Academy of Pro Wrestling in the locker room in Austin, where all the boys got dressed and changed and sat on the futon and had their sweaty ass and all that shit during the shows, just wipe it off, clean up the locker room, and that's where I would sleep. I was working at an arcade place called Pinballs, and they have now been a hotspot for wrestling because they have a back area where they have now allowed a lot of independent, I would say a lot, but two specifically, independent promotions to run in their venue.
Nice.
Well, I worked there as a shoot job, and there was a show that came through that had Sam Stackhouse, Ninja Mac, fresh back in America from Pro Wrestling Noah over in Japan. It had Brian Keith before he broke out and was able to sign with AEW. Ricky Starks was in the crowd, I believe. It was a really good exposure for me to be able to see how things operate from the outside looking in. And that's where I met Sam Stackhouse for the first time. And that was about 2 years ago. And, he's done his thing. And I've done my thing, and we've kind of reconnected recently on a few shows. And he's just one of those guys where I respect what he's done. I respect what he does, how much he loves the business. I feel like I share that same passion, but I have something to prove. Not many times do I get to wrestle someone with that caliber, because I feel like I've been used as a specific chess piece to be a proving ground to the next cream of the crop coming up in Texas wrestling. So for me to have this opportunity to wrestle someone like Sam, who's been established and who's gone to places and things like that, it's like I have a chip on my shoulder now, and I have everything to lose, especially with it not being in my home state, especially with me coming off of a loss to Remington Roar. I have a chip on my shoulder. So as much as I respect Sam, Sam's going to have to watch out for me.
Well, let's talk about that Remington Roar match. Like, I think he's got more respect for you now.
I would hope so. Yeah, I didn't know Remington, but I always love being able to get physical with someone. People like to get in the ring and entertain, but I feel like you walk away with a different sense of respect and appreciation for your opponent if y'all just go out there and whoop each other. And that's exactly what we did. So for Remington's first match back, he had a lot of momentum. I had a lot riding on that too. If I'm not mistaken, it was my first clean pinfall loss in HCW. And anybody that goes back to that Chance Kerrigan match where he beat me, let me remind you that it was off of a distraction from Dutch McClain. So did he really beat me clean? I don't think so. This whole time that I've been in Kansas, I have not been beaten clean up until Remington Roar. And that's what it took to put Caine Carter down.
So let me ask you this. With that being said, do you feel like if you overcome this match with Sam Stackhouse, do you think that you should be next in line for that match with Chance Kerrigan?
I feel like it's undoubtable. I've beaten a who's who in Kansas. I've beaten Calvin Aldridge in my spot that I earned the match that I earned my roster spot on. I beat Calvin Aldridge. I beat Cutthroat Chris Vale, also another fellow wrestler who's been to Japan and done his thing and come back. I had a killer feud with Dutch McClain, and the only way that he came out on top is he pulled a flagpole from a post. It don't take a god tier athlete to do that. I've mixed it up with the best of them, and I don't feel like there's anybody in contendership for a championship that I haven't beat. And if there is, then line me up with him, and I'll continue to climb that ladder. If I overcome Sam's just another guy stepping into Kansas, and I almost feel like it's a one-off match. I almost feel like it's not below me, but it is a step back to everything that I've been trying to do in Kansas. And from day one, it's been the Carter takeover. So wrestling someone who just is coming into Kansas and we don't know when he's going to be back, like I said, I got a chip on my shoulder and I got a ladder to climb.
And we haven't seen Sam since, was it that meat match? Was that the last time we saw Sam?
It's been a little while since Sam's been in. He's a busy person, but I feel what Caine's saying. Like, I understand it, and he's not wrong in that aspect. And I think a chip on Caine Carter's shoulder is something everyone needs to watch out for. So, let's go into a little bit about your training, about your comeuppance, and how all that started.
Oh man. I'm from a very small country town. You wouldn't know where it was, even if you're from. A lot of people from Texas don't even know where I'm from, and it's in their state. There was a promotion that came through my hometown and had a show at a bar, and this was whenever, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I looked at that poster that I saw at the gas station, and I said, they're not going to come through my hometown without seeing me. And that's kind of the first spark of Caine Carter and the attitude that I have and the confidence that I have, that I knew that if they came to my hometown and they saw me, that it would get some wheels spinning. And that's exactly what happened. Trainers have their way of training and their old traditional rules and values. And I felt like my trainer's values at the time weren't going to progress me. So I moved on, and he didn't like that. So I say this all the time. He blackballed me from his promotion for over 2 years. And so in those 2 years, I had to find alternative ways. And through that, COVID happened. So everyone got their stimulus checks. I filed for unemployment. I got my unemployment, and I got my income taxes all at once. So I took about 10 grand and I packed up all my stuff. This is a repeating theme in my life, is I just pack up all my stuff and I move and I just go wherever I want. I moved up to Denver, Colorado, and you guys have been bringing in a couple of people from Denver who I knew from years ago whenever I packed up and moved there. Damon Ace being one of them. Noelle, she wasn't around, but she's been a great talent that I've seen come to Kansas and do her thing. But whenever I moved there, I didn't have anywhere to live. I was homeless. I had everything in my SUV that I had at the time. It was a gas burner. But the promoter saw that I was dedicated. Oh, mind you, this was on a 20-hour notice because I emailed the promotion, Rocky Mountain Pro. This is
Right.
They emailed me back and said, we have tryouts on the first Tuesday of every month. Well, that was the next day.
Oh, man.
So I had a 20-hour notice to pack up all my things. I slept for like 4 hours, and then I took off with about 15 hours left until when I had to be there. Drove 12 and a half hours straight by myself, made it to Denver, aced the tryout, made it into the school. And eventually the promoter let me move into his basement. So I lived with the promoter and trainer of Rocky Mountain Pro, Matt Yaden. I got some really good tutelage under his wing. He's been around a who's who. You know, we were in contract with OVW, Al Snow School, and we got his curriculum from OVW, and we were just starting to inhibit that into our training, but COVID happened. And so I had to move back to Texas. Well, the plan was to always go back to Colorado. But in the meantime, where I was trying to shuffle things and figure things out, Dustin Rhodes had started his school. So I applied to join Dustin Rhodes' school, and I got accepted there. I was in his third class, and it was a 3-month training course with a living legend. You know, Cody Rhodes
Very much so.
came to the school. Yeah, it was a good time. Cody Rhodes came to the school. He used our facility for a vignette that he shot for AEW with Malachi Black to show his appreciation. They flew me out to Orlando because I was a part of that production. You know, I had my 30 seconds of fame on Dynamite. They flew me to Orlando, put me up in a hotel. I got a dark match. It was all gravy. If I would have died the next day, I would have lived my dreams, you know. But I came back to Texas, got knocked back down to reality, graduated from Dustin Rhodes' school, and again, I had a chip on my shoulder because Dustin said that, you know, he's done what he's done for us in his class. So hit the ground running and don't stop. And out of my class, there was only a handful of people to do that. And I'm one of them. And I'm starting to see a reoccurrence of people doing that now. A lot of Dustin's students are hitting the scene, but I feel like I was one of the very first ones to come out of Dustin's school that had a reputable AEW dark match. And it gave me some leverage going into the independent scene in Texas, but I was still treated like, you know, you gotta cut your teeth. You know what I mean? I still had to pay my dues. And about 2.5 years of that, going on 3 years, here we are.
What's that AEW dark match, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it was me and Chad Lennox versus what's the team's name? They are the Iron Savages now. Bear Country.
Well, what is a dark match? Like, why do they call it a dark match?
So it's a match that's not televised. It's something.
Okay.
It's kind of like a tryout. It's a
Gotcha. Okay.
thing. AEW releases their dark matches though, don't they?
Yeah. So at the time, it was like I said, COVID was happening. They were still trying to find places to run consistently. So what they were doing is they were pre-taping dark matches and having AEW dark episodes in full taped at Universal Studios, and they would release them on YouTube. I can't remember what dark episode I'm on, but I remember getting to Universal Studios, and there was about 45 matches lined up that had to take place over a course of a few hours. And what it was 3 weeks worth of dark episodes crammed into a couple hours. So 40 something matches, not much of them over 10 minutes long, unless you were like a surprise entrant. Like Adam Cole showed up and he had a 12-minute match, and it was going on so long that they needed seat fillers, so I was able to be a seat filler, and with getting a match for AEW Dark, I was able to get up close and study people that were wrestling non-televised shows, and I visibly saw the difference in their cadence and how they interacted with fans and the match structure and things like that. So it was a great learning experience for me, and a big light bulb moment for me in my career.
Nice. Very nice. So, if people follow HCW, like if you're watching this podcast, I'm sure you do, you know that you were first introduced to the HCW crowd by Dutch McLean, and you and Dutch were at Dustin's school at the same time, correct?
Yeah, we actually lived together. We were roommates and actually very close friends. I know Mama Dutch. I know his brother. I know his sister. I know the history of his family. How his father passed. Me and Dutch, at one point, we're like that.
Nice. And then it's well documented, like 3 individual matches with the conclusion, a flag match between Texas and Kansas. And like you said earlier, Dutch came out on top with that Kansas flag. But he didn't pin you, didn't submit you.
No, he didn't. He pulled that ugly flag right out of its post. And then he took my flag. He could have just took his flag and walked away. You know what I mean? But, I was just so in his head that he had to go take the Kansas flag and drape it over my dead body in the ring. I say dead body. I was catching my breath. You know what I mean? I feel like I could have popped back up and hit him one more time and walked out on my own too at that very moment. But I sat there on my back looking up, and I thought, he didn't pin me. He didn't submit me. And all of these unintelligent Kansas fans are cheering him through the roof of this place. So if this is the kind of person that these Kansas fans want to cheer and admire and idolize, then let it be, because you have way bigger fish to fry than worrying about if I was able to pull a flag out of a post.
But let's not deny the fans you do have. All right, you've got some fans in that crowd, especially them sassholes over there. Like, I mean, you give, and this is her words, not mine. You give some women some chubs. How does that make you feel?
I was listening to their podcast, and one of the hosts, he said that they might as well put towels under the ladies' seats. Yeah. It's not to be cocky, but it's kind of been common in certain areas. I am a pretty boy. It does come with some baggage with people claiming that I have an ego. But, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel validated. Growing up, I wasn't always that good looking. I have my insecurities. I'm a man. So I always appreciate and accept the validation whenever I can. But let's be honest. It's not too far-fetched. Have you seen the HCW locker room? Have you seen how people in Kansas look? Come on now. And mind you, the one that cheers me is from Texas. Yeah, you see I pulled up with the classic 70s Rangers jersey, old Fergie Jenkins on the back. I got my chains, my Texas Ranger City Connect logo. Kansas don't know nothing about City Connect because half of the city that's named after their state is in another state. And the best thing that the Kansas City Chiefs have is a dude from Texas. So what do y'all know about City Connect, man? Come on.
Yeah, but they're from Missouri, so you can't count that. I'm just saying.
Well, see, you got a city that's named after you that wants to be in Missouri. So just let it go. Why don't y'all just give it to Missouri and just take y'all's
Not a Kansas
L?
fan, so we're good. You're talking to a Dolphins and a Cowboys fan.
Oh, you're a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Could be worse.
What, you're a Dolphins fan, Billy?
Of course. You know why I'm a Dolphins fan?
Do I need to know?
I do.
It's from a Texas boy.
Oh,
See, what you don't know, Caine, is I grew up in Texas also.
oh, and you are doing us all the injustice in the world, Billy. Come on, educate.
No. So I grew up in Pampa, Texas, which is about an hour from Amarillo. Same high school that Zach Thomas went to. Zach Thomas, again, was drafted to Miami. My dad was actually, my dad kind of split between Cowboys and San Francisco. He was me and my brother call him a fair weather fan.
That's a weird.
Yeah, that's a weird duo to be fans of.
He liked him, man. That's just how it was. But I wanted to pave my own route, and Zach came in and helped us in the weight room and on the field and stuff every now and then when I was little, and so I followed him to Miami, and I've been a Dolphins fan ever since.
Let's not forget he also used to play for the Cowboys.
Who cares?
Just saying.
Okay, that's good. You got a personal connection to him. I stopped watching mainstream sports whenever I was in my early 20s, mid 20s. I'm going into my later 20s now. I stopped watching mainstream sports, so I never really had a connection with any athletes, especially not a personal one where I could say that I've been in the same room with them or I've got to sit under their wing. All that has come from professional wrestling now. So I'm just now getting back into baseball. I actually started watching baseball again 2 years before the Rangers won the World Series, and then we win the World Series. And it being from Texas, the Mavs won in 2011. I was 13. I barely remember that. Cowboys ain't won nothing in my lifetime, and I don't watch hockey. And I don't watch hockey to be a fan of the Dallas Stars. So whenever the Rangers won, and I had been watching them for the past 2 years, it was like I got that celebration. I got that feel good of my team finally winning the top prize in its sport. So that really kind of sucked me back in, and I'm very appreciative of that because aside from wrestling, baseball has been a huge part of my life for these past couple of years too.
Nice. Yeah, I keep up with you a lot on Facebook. I don't think you can help. Like if you're friends with you on Facebook, you post enough that you're through our algorithm quite often, which is a very good thing for a wrestler. So I see your stuff coming across all the time. You're at games and stuff like that. I've been to, I don't know if I've ever been to a professional like MLB game, but I've been to some like under
minor leagues.
Yeah, it's some minor leagues, and those games are fun, man. I can't really watch it on TV. I get too bored. But in real life, man, like baseball's still, America's sport, I think.
There's nothing like a live baseball game. Like
Man, if we get some time and if y'all ever have the time to do so, I've been wanting to go to the Royal Stadium. I don't know, is Kansas City or the Royals in Kansas or are they in Missouri?
They're right
They're
next
in Missouri
to the
too.
Arrowhead Stadium.
They're still good, man. Like that stadium's pretty. I've been to Arrowhead a few times because anytime Miami goes there, I'm going to be there. And we usually go about every 4 years, I think.
When they play.
So...
Or when they get placed the same in the same division.
Maybe we'll have to catch a Royals and Rangers game up there sometime.
That would be great. I had plans with someone to do that with, but things kind of fell through.
Shit happens.
The Royals have a beautiful stadium, and that's what I was getting at. Is I really want to see their stadium. That's a legit ballpark.
Not a bad seat in the house.
No, our stadium gets a lot of flack, but we got to do what we got to do because it's so hot in Kansas. It's so hot in Texas. You can't enjoy baseball. You know what I mean? So we had to build 2 new stadiums in the course of like 15, 16 years, I think. And the second one now has got the roof and it's retractable and stuff like that. But it's not a baller's ballpark. Whenever you get a baller's ballpark like Kansas City or like the Yankees, old Yankee Stadium, like it's a different atmosphere. You know what I mean?
I want to go to Wrigley so bad.
Oh, me and you both.
Well, hey, why don't we I got a few more questions, but where did you start enjoying wrestling or where did you become a fan of wrestling to make you go, hey, I can do this or I kind of want to do this?
Uh, the want and realization that I could do it didn't come until, like I said, that independent promotion came to my hometown, and I learned of independent wrestling that way. It's been my dream since I was 2, and everyone has their outlandish dreams that it's a dream, but growing up, you realize that dreams are dreams for a reason. Professional wrestling was introduced to me whenever I was 1 or 2 years old. My stepdad married my mom when I was 2. And so from the furthest back I can remember, wrestling has been in my life. Since before my very first memory, I have pictures of my stepdad and me walking through an arena, and it was at a wrestling show, and I was no more than 2.5, maybe 3 years old. So it's been in my blood since I was
Who's your favorite?
a baby. My favorite wrestler?
Yeah, growing up.
Oh.
And then also kind of like, did you take any type of somebody's persona, maybe kind of into Caine?
No, I didn't take nobody's persona. I got Sugar Cane from Sugar Ray Robinson, obviously, and then Sugar Cane Sugar, obviously. But my favorite wrestler growing up, it was a tie between Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam, and
Dang.
I feel like those two are very cliche for young Black kids. You know, if you talk to a group of Black kids that grew up watching wrestling, a lot of us were heavily influenced by Jeff Hardy, heavily influenced by Rob Van Dam. And I feel like it was just because they were so expressive, you know what I mean? In the late 90s, early 2000s, they were being expressive. And that's a time where pop culture was nothing but express yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of things were starting to become acceptable. So, and I didn't understand that as a kid. I look back now knowing that. But Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam were definitely my influences. But I didn't take inspiration from either one of them because early on in my career, I learned that the high flying stuff has a high risk to reward percentage. And so I just smartened myself up real quick.
I smartened myself up too when I was watching them do backyard wrestling. I was like, no, hell no. I don't do heights.
So you've been going now, so it's 2024. You started a little before COVID. So what, you've been in about 5.5?
Yeah, but I won't say that I've been doing it consistently for that long. Like I said, I did get blackballed. I had to find a new trainer. Months and months would go in between times where I could train or work a match. My AEW match was my 6th match ever. Just because from COVID to whenever I joined Dustin Rhodes' school, there's so much gray area. But from around 2022, maybe late 2021 is whenever I would say I hit the ground running, like Dustin told me, and started consistently wrestling. So about 3, going on 4 years now.
Nice. So in that time period so far, how many states you hit?
Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas, Florida, and Alabama. 6.
Nice. So I'm going to challenge you right now, bro. I'm going to challenge you. I want you to get a minimum of 3 more states this year. And if you need my connection, my help, I got you. You let me know. You do fantastic work for me, man. You bust your ass. But I think getting you out there to more states, getting you known by more people is very important. So a challenge at a minimum of 3 new states this year. Cool?
I really appreciate that. I love a good challenge. I was looking to focus 2025 on starting to expand more.
Heck yeah.
Well, I got a challenging question for you. And I mean, I told him right before I was going to ask it. So if you had all the power in not necessarily just wrestling, but also like Vince McMahon type power, if you could change one thing in wrestling, what would it be?
I don't think professional wrestling needs change. Truly, I think the fandom of professional wrestling needs change. I feel like the internet Actually, as a matter of fact, yeah. Let me say that there is something about professional wrestling I think needs to change. I feel like that the fan access into professional wrestling needs to change. Um, and that is just because we live in a time of social media where nothing happens, and with that, can't nothing happen without someone running to social media about it. Um, and that in turn, it spoils a lot of things. It gives people far too much of an opinion on things. And since day one in professional wrestling, it's meant to be entertainment. It's meant to be improv. It's meant to simulate something. This is it's still real to me, damn it. But the cat's out of the bag, or whatever that expression is. Everyone knows the gimmick behind professional wrestling nowadays. And if I could change one thing about it, is I would pull back the access that fans have to the business, because their opinions are far too heavy in the business, and I feel like it's a big problem to people who focus on those kind of things, and the people that focus on judgment and stuff like that. So not really much about professional wrestling needs to change, because it's ever changing. And from the beginning of wrestling, it's always been entertainment, and where anything could happen. But I feel like the fandom should change, man. I feel like people's fandom gets taken away because of other fans and opinions and things like that.
That was deeper than I thought we were gonna go. I was like, shit.
How do you think the difference between now WWE ran, or Triple H ran WWE, is compared to the old Vince McMahon style? Do you think it's going in a great direction? Do you have your reserves on it? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Triple H is very in tune with the fans, and I feel like that's no secret. If you are on Twitter or X or anything like that, you gotta know that Triple H looks at what goes viral on there, or what the majority of people are saying on there, and caters to that. Like, I feel like just recently, the most recent incident is Ricky Starks. Anybody could have picked up Ricky Starks, and I mean anybody. But the discourse around Twitter was that, Ricky Starks should go to AEW, where he should be treated. Not that he should go to Japan and try to cut his teeth again over there. Not that he should go to Impact, you know what I'm saying, and wrestle Josh Alexander and Speedball Mike Bailey. Like, Ricky Starks is an entertainer, and the discourse said that he belongs in WWE. There's no doubt that Triple H saw that and scooped him up as quickly as possible. And the difference is that Triple H is in tune with the fans, and Vince McMahon did what Vince McMahon wanted to do. And in the era where social media didn't have such an influence, Vince McMahon did his thing, and he kept the WWF turned WWE running for over 40 years. And you can't discredit that. Vince McMahon may have done things strictly in his way, but his way worked up until it didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then once it didn't, they had to look at it and be like, well, how can we switch things up? And like I said, wrestling's ever changing. It's always going to switch up. But I feel like the major switch up that needed to happen is that they listen to their fans. And now they're listening. And it's kind of a catch-22, because I just said that fans should be restricted in the access that they have to professional wrestling. But then you got the number one professional wrestling company in the world directly listening to online fans. So, I'm not here to complain or to try to change anything about it. I just roll with the punches and do what's best for Caine Carter.
I think that's why I think HCW's been successful also, because nobody knows what's going to happen. Like, yeah, there's the promos that you put out, but there's no like you said, there's yeah, you're answering to the fans, but they don't know that you're answering to them in a way that is blatant, if that makes sense. So if somebody says, hey, this guy should wrestle this guy, you're not going to get that guy. But what you are doing is building up to something to where they're like, oh shit, what's going to happen?
And that goes to my locker room. I put the cards together, but I listen, and I try to take people's, opinions and advice and different things here and there. I have my own, line of where I want things to go and stuff like that. But if you don't listen to your locker room and try to, work with your locker room to make the product better, you're going to fail, in my opinion. And so I try to do that.
All right, my last question for you, man. Is there anything that when you come to Kansas or HCW, is there anything that you think that other places or promotions that you've been to could learn from, like with HCW or any Kansas promotion?
Listening to y'all's fans and whatever y'all have done to progressively grow the attendance numbers, keep it up. And whatever it is, whether it be social media presence or whether it be surefire entertainment on the night of the show. I'm not from Kansas and I can't really spend a lot of time in Kansas before or after, so I don't know what y'all's regimen of flyering is. If y'all have people getting feet on the ground to flyer, keep that up. I see a steady progression. So whatever y'all are doing, any company could look at and take something from that. I see things for a business aspect also, and whatever y'all are doing, you just can't deny it. So anybody that is watching from the outside in who doesn't have a foot in the door with HCW in Kansas, that I've been here for the past, 6, 7, maybe 8 months. And there has been a steady progression. There's been a steady progression in the VIP numbers. There's been a progression to a point where VIP has sold out. And in Texas, there's such a deep pool of wrestling and promotions. That's not very common. So whenever you can sell out a VIP and then pack the house on a regular show, that's just attributed to everything y'all are doing. So like I said, anybody looking in from the outside, take notes. HCW is doing the damn thing. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to be coming to Kansas and being on the roster. And to all the talent, I've talked to my boys in Texas. I got people that would love to come up to Kansas, that would love to hop in the car with me. I got a tag team partner that would love to come up there. So I've been putting y'all's name around, man. And I tell people that aside from the promotion where I'm babyface at, that's obviously my favorite promotion to work for because it's my home promotion. Sure. I have such adoring fans that I've built a connection with. But outside of that, Kansas is my favorite place to wrestle. And that's not me busting y'all's balls or trying to stroke y'all because I'm on y'all's podcast. Kansas legitimately is my favorite place to wrestle as a heel and overall, aside from my home promotion.
Oh, yeah, that means a lot, man. I think we're going to segue into.
Do you want to talk about the show, or do you want me to ask your questions about the heart behind the Heartland?
Let's talk about that towards the end. Let's talk about this February 22nd show coming up. We had already talked a little bit about yourself versus Sam Stackhouse. A couple other matches we'd like to get your opinions on and announce to the world. That first one, it's been announced that Hector De Oro will go one-on-one with Paradox for that Heartland Championship. Paradox just turned back to a babyface, and Hector's been an up-and-coming star. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, justice for Ray.
I don't disagree. Dickie kind of screwed him over. And, it was hard to go out and tell the fans that Dickie wasn't wrong. And Ray's a fighter. He always has been. And he would have stand in there hurt as he is and still tried to defend that title. But I try to look out for my wrestlers, and he needs to heal up. So his time will come back around.
Absolutely. I feel like Paradox should now have a chip on his shoulder because now he did win the match to become the HCW champion, but I feel like you can't deny that it was off of the back end of Ray having to relinquish the title. So I feel like that gives Paradox a chip on his shoulder, and if anything coming from me, whenever you have a chip on your shoulder, you become more dangerous. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that warps the landscape of HCW for time to come. And I may be overlooking Chance Kerrigan to look at that championship if the company warps in such a way that allows me to go in that direction. So who knows?
Nice.
Is that the main event, by the way?
That will be the main event.
So Hector De Oro versus Paradox, who is the current HCW Heartland champion.
Correct. And then another big announcement in the tag match at the last show, the Coda brand made their presence known. Come out, beat the crowd out of both ACFC and Only Friends, and told everyone what their intentions were. And I've given them that opportunity, so they will go for the Heartland tag titles versus ACFC.
I like their way of just stepping in and putting their foot down and dropping their nuts and claiming their road to the tag team championship gold. I have history with the Coda brand. I'm actually the second ever CTC champion. And if anybody knows what CTC is, what their championship is, it's their vlog championship. I got history with them guys. I like the way that they stepped their foot down and did what they had to do to make their mark in Kansas. And now they put everyone on notice. By foul or fair, I got to respect it. I got to take notice. If I ever jump into the tag division, then I got to be on my P's and Q's and know where everyone stands in the company. Just because I'm a single star doesn't mean I don't need to take notice of the tag division. So I can't fault them for what they're doing, because I damn near did the same thing when I came in. I just put my foot down and I said what I said, and I claimed my route to wherever I was going to go.
For sure.
That's what I was actually going to lead with, because you just said single star. I was like, I said you were going to be the 5-star. It was the 5-star Lone Star Superstar.
5-star Lone Star Superstar.
Ooh, that's good.
Nice.
That's good.
So, did you ever get a chance? Speaking of the Coda brand, so if many people know about them, Cappuccino Jones was a part of them for a little while down in Oklahoma, and he's doing great things. He's got the WWID, so he's getting some matches out. Very fantastic worker. Did you ever get an opportunity to go one-on-one with him?
No, I have not. But if you want to bring him up to Kansas, I'll put him in a blender. I'll put him in a blender. And I'll show him that cappuccino ain't nothing. I like espresso.
That's good stuff, man. We had talked a couple times, just never been able to kind of work dates out. About a very good kid, very talented kid too. So
I've actually been on a few shows with him and got to share a locker room with him. I respect his grind. I respect his passion. I respect his gimmick. You know what I mean? It's original. He has taken it and ran with it. I wish him the best. Like you say, he's a part of the WWEID program. And I've looked at some of the other WWEID talents, and I feel like some of those guys are wash, rinse, and repeat talents. And I feel like Cappuccino Jones stands out amongst that list. So I have all the respect in the world for him. And like I said, if you want to bring him down, I want dibs.
Gotcha. All right. If I ever lock him in, man, you got dibs. I'll give you that. So, and then we'll talk about one more match and kind of segue into our next thing. So, the Monster Blade has been after Chance Kerrigan and his undefeated streak. Brutally beating him up a few times, him and the Seventh Seal, just relentless attacking him, attacking his future wife. If Blade ends up with that title, maybe you segue up to the main title instead of going after that monster, or you're gonna step in the ring with that beast too.
All seals must be broken.
Oh,
I don't know who this Blade guy is. He's been running around under a mask and pants and a long sleeve shirt. You can't see any identification marks on this guy. I've never seen him in the locker room. I don't know if he just is some dude from Kansas who just runs in from the front door and gets past security. I don't know.
Say my security's bad?
I mean, they don't apprehend me when I twist the rules, so maybe they should step it up.
And he's from Chicago, right? Chicago.
He's from Chicago, and he's wreaking havoc in Kansas. Somebody got to send him back up there, and somebody got to do something with him. I don't know who he runs with. Who's the other guy again?
The Seventh Seals, Michael Maverick, Darian Jekyll, Simon Balasong, and KT Lynn.
Oh, there's that many.
Yeah.
Oh. So he runs with a posse. He don't run by himself.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, that screams dependency. You come from Chicago. You come from Chicago, of a very violent ridden state, and you come down to Kansas where Dorothy and Toto are from, and you got to run with a posse, and you can't claim your stake to fame without doing it yourself. Come on, man. That's why 5-star Sugar Caine Carter stands out from everybody in Kansas, because I come from 2 states down and I represent myself. I carry an entire state on my back. If you got to come and run with a posse, I got no respect for you. So Blade, if you do happen to win that HCW United States Championship, I don't want you running back to Chicago. I want you staying right here in Kansas so this Texas boy can whip that ass.
Oof. Big words. Big words.
I mean, he's not lying. Dorothy and Toto are from here.
Man, they got taken out by a tornado, a twister, or whatever, and that's about the most. They came back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's about the most dangerous thing that happens in Kansas, and you got this dude coming down.
Shit, we got earthquakes now, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas, where all we get is UV radiation, heat from the sun. Man, it's terrible.
Shit, you also get snow sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when
that happens, you guys shut down. Your guys' kryptonite is snow or ice.
Yeah. So where I'm from, in my small hometown, we're not prepared or properly equipped for snow. So it just it iced over a couple of weeks ago, but about 2 years ago it snowed and everyone couldn't handle it, so they shot their heaters up to high temperatures, and it blew our entire city's power grid.
Oh man, we got a thumbs up from you, man. Put your heart up. Put that heart up right there. Do that. Do this right here. I want to see who does it. Put your heart up like this. Did you not see that?
It did.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Look at that. That's awesome.
Y'all got me all frilly on this.
That's right. That's right.
Man, and then your thumb up like this brought up like a Facebook thumb.
So Caine, I got probably one more question for you, man. Just kind of some more information I'm looking at, and then we'll segue into this other little segment and start wrapping it up. But so if give me one dream opponent that's on the big stage and one dream opponent that's independent right now.
Dream opponent on the big stage would be Kenny Omega. If I could squeeze another one in there who is more possibly realistic, it's Brian Keith. He just got signed with AEW, so he's technically on the big stage, but he's a Texas boy from Houston, reps Houston heavy for a long time, was the best wrestler in Texas whenever I was breaking into the business. So he was someone that I looked up to. So Kenny Omega, obviously, top dog on the higher end of the scale. Brian Keith, obviously, because it's more realistic, being that he could probably take some independent dates. On the independent scene, I don't want to say that there's nobody, because I want to wrestle them all. That's very cliche. I will say that there's a gentleman up in the Pacific Northeast region. He goes by Fancy Ryan Clancy. He is a wrestler's wrestler. He is a throwback to the 80s, to the 70s. his wrestling style, his wrestling mind, how I see his matches progressing, the moves that he does. It caters to the style that I like. I like good throwback wrestling, good classic wrestling. I don't do a lot of the high spots, but I will if it calls for it. He wrestles for Wrestling Open, I think is the promotion, is his primary promotion. But man, he's making big waves right now up in the Pacific Northeast region. He's a wrestler's wrestler. I feel like our styles would mesh very well. I've mentioned him on a couple other podcasts too, so he's always one that I go back to. Yeah, he's a great talent. If y'all have never heard of
Fancy
him,
Ryan Clancy.
Fancy Ryan Clancy. He's a wrestler's wrestler. I'll say that to the end. He's a throwback guy, and his style is awesome. His look is awesome. Once you see this guy, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have to go check him out. I haven't heard of him yet, but I stay so busy that I get to catch glimpses and stuff. I try to catch WWE pay-per-views, but other than that, it's go 24/7.
I get it.
In that Kenny Omega match, would you want the hour-long match?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't want no 20-minute G1 rush through it match. I want the Tokyo Dome, an hour long. I want the young boys putting the ice on my neck whenever the match is over. I want the ventilators and the breathing apparatuses. But as a wrestler, I don't know if a lot of people want to test themselves like that, because a part of wrestling, a part of what you could be tested on as a wrestler is how well you entertain, how well you draw money, what are the ratings whenever your segment's on TV, XYZ in the entertainment business. But what you can also look for or try to achieve in the physical aspect of wrestling is that hour long. Can you go? Can you keep the fans entertained for an hour? Can you put your body through everything and still continue to fight? That's what encapsulates the Japanese style of wrestling. And I idolize that, but I'm not in Japan. I can appreciate being an entertainer and not wanting the crowd to be twiddling their thumbs while I'm in the ring, and whenever it comes to it. And if I am able to test my skills in that aspect, that's also the dream for me.
That's awesome. Like them long matches like that are a lost art. It's something, today's day and age is about boom, boom, boom. Think of how quick TikTok and stuff blew up because, it's instant gratification. You look at it and you can move to the next thing. So being able to hold a crowd and have them style matches are a lost art form. Kenny Omega is one of the best at it right now. And if you ever want to go to Japan, man, I know Sonny Ono. So we just did a big Japan tryout for Wrestle One for him with my friends. You ever get an opportunity to go to one of those, they're great opportunities. And he picks one from each place to go to Japan with them, where they pay for it. You go over for 2 weeks. They fly you over. You train at the dojo, stuff like that. So
who won this? Did you
remember? Yeah, I was about to ask.
I don't remember his name. He was it was a younger guy. He was trained by Darby Allin, and pretty green. And Sonny just said he had a hell of a look, super in shape, worked hard. You could tell he was green, but they felt like it was a blank canvas for them to work on, so they picked him.
Yeah, if you can catch somebody before they're molded into the wrestler or molded into the style that they have, you can definitely mold them how you want to. That was a problem with my original trainer. He wanted to mold me in his image and keep his thumb over me. He was one of those ones where he believed that, he should control your bookings for the first year that you're in the business. And yeah, I look at one of his students that he has now. This kid has all the potential in the world, and he's very charismatic, and he has the social media stuff down pat. You know, a lot of wrestlers that just want to get in the ring and do a lot of miles on the road, they look at social media as another hassle, myself included, you know. But I try to post as much as possible, but this kid's got it down. And I just see that he's under my original trainer who blackballed me. He's under his thumb, and he's only working limited companies in limited areas. And I told him, and I told another interview, and I wrestled him one time, and I even told the commentary, you know, put that in commentary during our match. So if you go watch our match on YouTube, commentary is talking about how, yeah, I trained with this guy, but I feel like if this guy could get from under his thumb, he could skyrocket. You know what I mean? So I'm trying everything and trying everything in my power to get this dude to realize that. But if he's comfortable where he's at, you know, who am I to say that?
Good deal.
Wow. Actually, before we move on, I do want to highlight. Don't forget that the tickets are already on sale for Road to Legacy. Is that right? Or
Correct.
Legacy?
No, it is Road to Legacy.
Right, but do you have tickets on sale for Legacy yet?
I don't know if we put tickets on sale for Legacy just yet. We do want to get it out there pretty quickly because it is the biggest show for us. But, you know, trying to promote that far in advance when you've got shows ahead, we don't want to take away from those shows ahead, too.
Right. I just didn't know if you had them on sale yet. That's what I was asking. But don't forget, they are having a raffle for Angel at this next coming up Wichita show. Is that right?
Correct. So Boogie Builds created a couple chairs and a bench. So we're going to raffle the chairs off February 22nd. And those tickets are $10 a piece or 3 for $20 for the raffle tickets. And then in March, we will do the bench, and that'll be the same ticket prices.
I think I might have Jamie go just to buy the tickets.
Bro, they're comfortable too. So for wooden chairs, they're super nice, super comfortable. If you don't win them, you should sit in them and just realize how comfortable they are. You might just go buy some yourself.
Yeah, they look dope with that Punisher emblem on there. That's really cool.
Those are the chairs. I can see those on social media.
Yeah, they look really cool. Like they look like they would be really cool for in here. I'm just saying. But I think if I pulled my ticket out of that jar, then that would be pretty shady. So I'm not going to buy a ticket, but I might have my
gimmick the raffle, brother.
Can't do it.
Won't ever do that. I would never ask to do that. But that show is February 22nd. Doors open at 5. Bell rings at 6 for that VIP is at 5. And get your raffle tickets. They'll be going on sale till the main event, and then that's when we'll call out the winner for the chairs this time, and then the bench is that Last Chance?
Correct.
Okay. And I ask everybody that's been on here this question just to see it's fun to just hear about what people say. Is there a wrestler at HCW that you think has stood out since you've been there? I mean, you haven't been there as long as everybody that's been on here, but somebody that's maybe stood out to you that you would say, man, that guy's, he's, or gal that's came up and stood out to you.
Man, I only watched him one time, but that little punk Gavin Bush, man. I don't know. I gotta respect how he just comes in and he don't care. He don't give a damn. And I respect that. You know, I can see his viewpoint on life and on wrestling and what makes his personality that way. You know what I mean? And if you can take what you get and brush it off the shoulder and spray your hair up with hairspray, he did stand out to me. Another one is obviously Ray Leon. Since I started in Kansas, people were telling me, man, you and Ray need to get in there. You and Ray need to mix it up. Y'all would be a fantastic match. Since I started, and I watched him progress into winning the HCW championship in that cage match. I was actually long gone from the venue at that point, but I did look back and watch the match and see the reaction that he got. And it takes a special kind of person to make a crowd feel that way and to really make them appreciate an accomplishment for another person, but to also make that accomplishment for another person feel like it's an accomplishment for everybody. And I feel like that's what Ray encapsulated. and that's just a standout person to me too. Every other person, like I said, it's just another stepping stone.
That's awesome. Now at this time, I guess we're going to find out a few things about Billy and Heartland Championship Wrestling, like the passion behind it. I mean, my question for him today, like I guess there's two. Where was the passion at when you came up with Heartland Championship Wrestling, and then we'll get into the second part of it.
So that passion came for forever. It's no secret that I ran XWE in Salina for quite a while, and when I was looking to step away from there, it was, what do I want my brand on, my name on? And I tell people that I feel like my name carries some weight, and if I'm going to put my name on something, I want it to mean something. And forever I heard people say Kansas for wrestlers was just a flyover state. Not many people were known from it. Not many people, felt like they wanted to come to it. And my goal that day and forever will be to change that, to change the fact that people look at Kansas as just, it's just one of those other states. I want people to be known from it. I want Heartland Championship to be known from it. And some people say Kansas is not in the Heartland, but you know what? It is the direct center of the United States. And damn it, it's the heart of America. So it is the Heartland that we represent. And that's why I came up with the Heartland Championship Wrestling.
I love it. So which title would you like to start with about telling the, I guess, backstory about the passion, about the name and the design of them? Which one means the most to you right now? Other than, I mean, obviously the main one that's sitting right here in the middle of us, but
that main one. So what a lot of people don't know is I helped create the Kansas Wrestling Alliance back when I was with XWE. And the Heartland title actually came out of the Kansas Wrestling Alliance. So myself and Flex Reed and Adam Pena and Mitch Bass and my ex-partner Duncan Curtis all sat down, was trying to find a name. So we chose the Heartland title. And when I started Heartland, I told them from the jump, I'm taking that belt. And I helped design it. My brother did all of our designs. And he told me, he said, I want to make this title look like a heart. And I said, I don't know if I like that, man. Like, I don't think it's going to look good. I don't think we should do that. And if you look at that belt, there is a heart in the belt.
Oh, I see it now. Now that you say it, I see it. Take out that top diamond part.
Correct.
Okay.
Take the heart, top diamond out. Bro.
I didn't know that. Dude, I got into this whole thing, right? Like, I don't know if you know this story, but I got into it by accident, bro.
You take this out, and it makes a heart.
I always wondered, because whenever I saw that the talent carry it, I thought the point was supposed to go on top. And then I think Ray wearing it, and he put the point on the bottom, and I was like, what is going on here? But I never understood that, but that makes a whole bunch of sense.
So, now I see the heart. Like, I would have never. Now, I mean, I'm glad I came up with these questions, because I'd have never known.
Question.
That title means a lot to me. It's been around for before Heartland, and it is the stepping stone for Heartland. So
that's awesome. Like, now I feel like I'm getting to know you a little bit more. Jeez. There was another title that you said that it was the HCW tag team titles. That says a lot about you. Is that right?
Yeah. So if you look at the HCW tag titles,
I picture that. Sorry.
They a lot of influence from me, myself as a person. I love bears and grizzly bears and polar bears and black bears, and like I like the strength and the aggression behind them, but also the love and care that they can give to their young. And so I'm just a huge bear fan. And then, of course, my training facility is called the Bears Den. And those HCW tag titles have a lot of that Bears and Bear Den influence in it, with the bear paws and stuff like that.
Awesome. So now, which of these two titles has more meaning to you personally, Independence or the Sunflower title?
I mean, they all mean a lot.
They're all a little bit of you. Okay.
The Sunflower title represents Kansas. The state flower is the sunflower. So, I wanted something to help represent that. And there's also some Easter eggs in our titles if you look at them all together.
All together?
All together, there's an Easter egg between all of them that also represents Kansas.
Oh, dope.
But the Sunflower title was that title that,
Whoa. Well, you can't just drop that on us and not tell us.
I mean, it wouldn't be an Easter egg if I didn't tell you. If I had told you.
Okay.
So if somebody can figure it out, leave a comment in this video.
You got to line them up, or is it like something within the wordage?
If you don't, it's not really the wordage, but if you look at all the belts, there's a little thing in each one of the belts that all combine together to make a thing that represents Kansas.
I bet you I know what it is. If I can name it, what do I get? Can I guess?
No, because you're just guessing.
No, I have a legitimate guess.
Okay.
Is there something in each belt that makes up the Kansas seal?
No, but that is a good guess.
Well, I was just going off of this.
Right.
Like, okay, so my guess
was a
was
good
wrong.
guess. And then of course, so at the show, Caine, you'll have to get all the champs to put their titles down so you can look at them all. Figure it out.
If you have an idea of what that emblem is, I want you to leave a comment in this video if you're watching.
Yeah, so, the great debate of what the Easter egg is.
And then the Independence title. So in XWE, I had the Liberty title, and everybody knows that I greatly appreciate what our military does for us. I greatly appreciate the fact that people have gone over to war to defend our freedom, and whatever your version of that freedom is. But people have died for that freedom, and so I wanted something to kind of on the same lines. I didn't want to go recycle that Liberty title, so we was looking for something else. And the Independence title, the Independence name just kind of stood out. And then I loved the old United States title from WWE, the old red, white, and blue. And so I kind of gave my brother some designs, and he put stuff together, and that's what we got.
The white strap is beautiful.
The white strap is beautiful. I almost put the white strap. No, I wouldn't do that. I think the Sunflower title we almost made yellow.
Oh wow.
To kind of pop on the background of the sunflower of the gold. But the white with the red, white, and blue colors and the eagle on top just all kind of work together. And
you got me thinking about what could be
really made it pop for me.
That's awesome. And there's just one more title that kind of is like shown its face recently, right?
Actually, there's two.
Heartland, Sunflower, Independence, tag teams, and then the one. I don't know the other one.
So the Out of Luck title.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Which is a title. I wanted it something to be, actually the Out of Luck design and stuff come from a tattoo company. They sponsored the tattoo convention. They were there, and so they paid for that belt. So I tried to figure out something good to come up with it, and so the Out of Luck title, kind of like the golden ticket, but that it still had to be defended. So you can cash that title in for any other opportunity, but at the same time, someone can challenge you for it and win that from you. So I thought it was a cool kind of unique idea, and just ran with it, and it's worked pretty well so far.
I know that you said that on that title that it has to be like made public before it even happens, right? So it can't happen at that show if you want to challenge for a title. Now, what about somebody that wants to challenge for that belt?
They can challenge anytime. Like
Okay.
like Heidi came out and said, "Hey, I want to do this."
Yeah, that's what I was making
Kit
sure.
Reaver was going to do an open challenge for it. Heidi was going to answer, but didn't. Kit had some things come up, so he couldn't be there, and so
I
he
just
made
wanted to
the
make
thing.
sure that wasn't.
But they have to make it known. I'm going to cash this belt in for the following show or a couple shows down the road for that title opportunity, and kind of gives that stepping stone of, here you go. I'm right in your face. I'm going to step up. It's going to be me versus you, and title's on the line.
Now I know what the other title was, and I forgot. I just haven't been in Leavenworth in forever.
That is true. The other one is a Leavenworth exclusive title, and it's the First City Championship, which will be defended. We're recording tonight on Thursday, so it will be defended this coming Saturday in Leavenworth.
And this releases on Monday. Don't forget.
Correct. So,
Nice.
just a little bit of background on those titles.
I just came up with those questions before you walked in, so I was like, I kind of want to know a little bit more about the titles and the name, because I don't know everything about Billy, even though we've known each other for almost 30 years.
A long time.
That championship where you have to cash in, that's we have a similar championship in Houston. It's called the Ascension Championship, and you have to win that in a 6-man ladder match. And
Nice.
once you win that, you do have to regularly defend it. But at any point, you could cash that in, and that is exactly what I successfully did to become the PWF Premier Championship. This is their top title.
Can I see that belt again?
Do you know what this is?
That's a nice little belt.
That's pretty.
It's
Nice.
the
That looks like a
IW.
UFC belt.
It's the old IWGP version 3 New Japan belt. So it's got
Okay.
this actually was not the belt that I won whenever I cashed in the Ascension Championship. This belt, tailor-made for me. I got the honors to debut this championship in Houston. I took that other PWF championship and all of its lineage in the city of Houston, and I threw it in the trash because Houston is a terrible city. I stepped on it. I wanted to spit on it, but I didn't. But yeah, this is what we got. The PWF Premier Championship. It's big. It's beautiful. And the lineage starts with Caine Carter. Not every other person that claims to have held the PWF Championship, because nobody besides me has held this one. So I get the concept of y'all's championship, and you gotta claim your stake to fame, and you gotta tell them, hey, I'm in your face. I'm gonna challenge you for this, and you got X amount of time to get ready. I respect it. You know what I mean? But not everyone operates on those rules.
And that one has to be won in a Rumble when it's open, right? When nobody has it.
It's not necessarily a Rumble. It can be any style of match.
Oh,
We
okay.
just made it a Rumble every time. A lot of times it was cashed in and lost, and ton of people in my locker rooms at all times, because people show up just to show up a lot of times. And when I can give people opportunities, I'm a huge person that wants to give people
Well,
opportunities.
shoot, that tattoo convention, we had 3 people win it.
yeah.
So
So, yeah, man. Anything else?
no, I mean, did you have any more questions about HCW or anything for us?
No, I don't got any questions. No, I don't think
I
so.
know we're not that interested. It's all good.
No,
So,
I
AK, if Dick Richards tried to give me 50%, like if I tried to get 50% ownership back, and I had to pick one wrestler, could I count on you? Would you have my back?
absolutely. Are we doing a Billy versus Dick match?
Yeah. Nah, man. Like, he owns 50% of my company because of your boy Ray. Way back before you got here. So
At the last
Okay.
legacy, the very first legacy, Ray won 50% of the company for Dickie beating Blade.
So,
Oh.
but
He beat Blade.
he did
Yeah.
beat Blade for that.
Yeah, that guy's a loser.
Damn.
No,
But-
Billy, I got you, man. I got you. I don't care if you like, dislike. I don't care who is rocking with you. You know, you got me. I may not be from Kansas, but I stand for what HCW does. They've given me a platform. You've given me a platform. If you need me, I got you. I don't feel like there's anybody that Dickie could pick on the roster that could hold up to me at this point. With everything that I got, the chip on my shoulder that I got, everything, I got you, Billy.
Hell yeah. Well, guys.
Well, let's let him shout out his handles and stuff like that, your social media, and then any words of wisdom while you're doing that too.
Oh, my Instagram, Twitter, Caine Carter _. Facebook is Caine Carter. Caine is Caine. Don't forget the E at the end.
I mess that up all the time.
Every time.
A lot of people do. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Don't let your past define you. We didn't really get into it, but I do have a troubled past. I'm righting a lot of my wrongs, and I've had some things come back to bite me. You know what I mean? So never think that your past won't come back to bite you. But don't let your past define you. Whenever those things do come back, stand 10 toes down, sink your feet into the ground, and take whatever consequences come with the actions that you've done. But also don't let these things define you. It's never too late to go out and do what you want. I'm a living testament to that. And, that's really about it. Shout out to Chubby Buddy Studios. Shout out to Bumpin' Chops. I had a good time bumping chops. I'm ready to get on them Sass Holes podcast and talk my stuff.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm really, really proud to be a part of the Kansas independent wrestling scene because Texas is really, really, really deep. I feel like I've made my stake in Texas. I don't know if y'all knew, but the Texas top 100 list just came out, and I'm ranked 23, which I feel like is highway robbery.
Yeah.
That's what your Facebook post was. Okay, I didn't get to read it all, so.
Thank you. But I do feel like it's highway robbery. Not me boosting my own ego or trying to be cocky or anything. I look at things very realistically. I feel like the person who got number 22 right above me. This is a guy who has his own faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Stray Dog Army. New Japan Strong. Whenever they're in America, he has his own faction with them. He wrestles a who's who, and he's been around for 15 years and is still consistently one of the best wrestlers. So I feel like him being 22, one spot above me was even robbery for him. I don't take those lists into a lot of consideration, but whenever I can use it as a driving point, I will. So I appreciate the applaud and stuff like that. But I feel like I've made my stake in Kansas, and it's time for me to expand. I will proudly accept your challenge to try to reach 3 more states, and I'll keep you updated on that. But as far as the time goes right now, I'm proud to be a part of Kansas, and I can't thank y'all enough for having me.
Dude, it's been an honor getting to know you and also talk to you every week. So, each show. Hey, man,
I don't know if many people tell you, man, but I've watched this journey for the last, 8 months, 6-8 months. I'm super proud of you, man. You get better every time I watch you in the ring. Continue doing that. And if I can open any doors that some idiot closed, you let me know. I'll do what I can.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Billy.
And Caine, brother, you have just been chopped with Bumpin' Chops. Ooh. Take it easy, man.
Later.
From the top road to the depths below, the warriors in the ring with nowhere to go. Blood, sweat, and tears, it's a battle of the wills. We bring the heart to the heartland. Heart to the heartland. Yeah. Turn the volume up, they can hear from hell. Everyone's ready, so let's ring the bell. Ding, 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 let's start the clock. HVW, yeah.